I feel like I dabble with talking about gentrification, but I haven't fully done it for numerous reasons. I was just like, I'm not an expert, I'm scared. But I saw that no hot thing and I was like, I gotta say something. So this is what I said. Hi, this is Toya from Harlem, and I'm back on the YouTube here today to talk to you about gentrification. Now, now I'm not an expert. All the things that I know are based on my experience growing up in my community and some research and some video watching. Just being honest. The latest and greatest buzz going on right now is the fact that real estate agents and property owners are referring to certain parts of Harlem, I believe central Harlem, as NoHa, north of Harlem. Yeah, and so in the past couple of weeks there have been protests. City councilors have come out to really fight against this community rebranding. And that really sparked a lot of emotions for me because Harlem and Beyond, which was before Toya From Harlem, obviously. See? Harlem and Beyond was created because I was feeling displaced in my own neighborhood. And so I wanted to create this digital space online to capture the history that I felt like was disappearing rapidly. And I always talk about that. You can find that on my About Me, on my blog page. You can, when I got my interview by BET, which I'll put the link down below, I talk about, my inspiration. Like, I have been in and out of Harlem. I grew up in Harlem all my life, and I came back from graduate school. It was probably like an 8-month period. It wasn't even that long. And I came back and I was like, what is this place? Who are these people? Why do I feel so foreign? So let's talk about gentrification. Let's start with basic definition. So according to Webster, I'm going to pull out this paper here. According to Webster, right, gentrification is the process of renewal and rebuilding accompanying the influx of middle class or affluent people into deteriorating areas that often displace poor residents. And yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And other definitions that I found, I guess technical definitions, right? The process of high income, high status people relocating or investing in low income urban communities, mostly communities that have been neglected, and they're trying to capitalize on low property value. So yeah, basically the way I would say it's like middle class people are moving in and the poor are being kicked out. And so I want to talk about the phases of gentrification based on what I experienced. So phase 1. Unusual suspect arrives in your neighborhood. They don't look like the predominant community, and you're probably really startled by them because they may be like carrying groceries, which means they actually probably live near you. They might even be jogging at night, things that have never happened before. So that's like the first step, is like that pioneer step. Then the second step for me, based on my experience, is like now all of a sudden these big businesses move in to the community. You got your H&Ms, you got a Starbucks on every avenue, you got a Starbucks on Lenox, you got a Starbucks on Malcolm X Boulevard. Like, how many Starbucks do people need? But, now all of a sudden these businesses want to invest in the community because the demographic is changing, and the demographic goes to Starbucks. And they like nice restaurants. All these things that people in the community probably wanted, but, now businesses are attracted to it. You get media attention, right? You have news reporting on Restaurant Row and all these things that attract even more attention and more people. Fourth and fifth stage is, the increase in property value. So rents go up, businesses, small-owned businesses, black-owned businesses can't really afford to stay there, So then you have historical places like Lenox Lounge shut down, maybe being replaced by Sephora. You have like a lot of black churches being shut down because they can't keep up with the new fees or property value that would cost for them to have this. And so there's buyers now waiting in line, very interested in like, oh, we're going to build a hotel there, or we're going to build a Sephora there. This is the part of displacement. Not only is your community physically changing and the value is going up, but also there's this erasure of your culture and your being. And I think what a lot of people don't talk about with gentrification is the ramifications of displacement and the psychological effects of that I feel like I have definitely and I am experiencing. And every time I go there, it changes so much. Something is so new and I don't feel like I belong. And there's a lot of, indirect ramifications. It's like your friends and your family who are displaced. Maybe you get to stay. Maybe you're in a rent stabilized home, or maybe you figured out how to, put some money together to own the building that now gets converted into a condo. But your friends and family are no longer there. Your community is no longer there. Your history is literally disappearing. And you can build all the restaurants and all the other stuff, but if you can't go there, or if you don't enjoy being there, or if it's not really for you, it doesn't feel good and it doesn't welcome you. There's this exclusion thing that happened with gentrification that I very much experience. There's these new coffee shops popping up, and but they're not, they're in the community, but they're not for the community. And just reading all the stuff and seeing all the protest, about the name, that's the last step, really, is renaming a community. If we talk about erasure, we talk about kind of erasing historical things. And then the final step is erasing the name, and people have been dabbling with this idea of calling Harlem a new Harlem. And now we have NoHa. And I think that people really need to think about, the ramifications of that. And I think a lot of the protests and the reaction is coming from what I'm talking about in terms of feeling like you're being erased, like your culture doesn't matter, like your friends and family are not there. It's just hard to see. And I just hope that something that will happen, some type of, I don't know, policies or something, because gentrification is really highlighting, the racial inequality, the economic inequality that is in cities. And it's not unique to Harlem. I saw it happening in Miami and Liberty City. It's happening in different parts of Chicago. It's happening in California. Shout outs to Oakland. Like, it is a nationwide, and some people would say, worldwide. It's happening in London. Gentrification is a issue, and it's a thing that I believe can be fixed. Not necessarily fixed, but there can be policies in place that can, decrease the amount of displacement. And one of the misconceptions that a lot of people have about gentrification is calling it rejuvenation. And those are two different things. Uh, Rejuvenation is about, is about, like, I guess, beautifying the neighborhood or bringing new businesses. And that is welcome. The people who were there before all the new stuff has happened wanted those things. And usually rejuvenation, I was watching the TED Talk, rejuvenation usually involves the community, and it is invested by, like, private or public sectors, but it involves the community. It's a community effort. With gentrification, it's top down. It's people from outside the community that have money and incomes that are higher than the average, like, medium income of that community historically. They come in and they change things, and that doesn't involve the community. That pushes people out of the community, the culture, the name, and that just makes me sad. And I just wanted to I don't really know what the purpose of this video is, and I'm gonna have to edit it and look at this rant, but I just wanted to address kind of like the elephant in the room. I feel like I dabble with talking about gentrification, but I haven't fully done it for numerous reasons. I was just like, I'm not an expert, I'm scared. But I saw that no hot thing and I was like, I gotta say something. So this is what I said.